Hello, coaches. You've collected all your registration forms, and now you're ready to enter your kids into the players' registry. Your registration form should look like this. One of the things that we've seen in the past years is that the registration forms hadn't been completely filled out. Make sure your kid's name, address, city, state, zip, telephone, emergency number, birth date, male or female, the team name. For some reason, this is the biggest area that we always get that they don't select or don't enter. It's the team name. And then whether they're playing on the AAA, AA, single A, or D League. You want to get your kids' school and their grade. If the parent has an email address, you want to enter that information. This is very important. We want this signature here. Make sure that the parent signs and dates it. It relieves you of any kind of situations, and it also relieves us of any kind of situations. On the second page, there is a second page. If you're not printing them front and back, you should have 2 pages. The second page should have the player's name, and then it should have, again, the parent's signature saying that they've read this information, their printed name, and the date. If there's a second parent that wants to sign, make sure that that other parent prints their name, their signature, and their date. We don't have it here in the sample, but we do want the signatures of the parents. Do not turn in blank registration forms with no signatures. Do not turn in registration forms without all of this information in the top area completed. Now that you have all that information completed, you want to go to LouisianaYouthFootball.com. Once you go there, you're going to go to the team registry. You should have a user ID and password. At any time that you want to go into the players registry, you will have to log into it. If John Doe, our sample player here, if he was a new player, we would have to go here to the new section. If John Doe was a returning player, he played on your team, and you know he played on your team, you're going to go to returning. If you know he played in the league already, he's played on a team against you, or if you've seen him play before, you can go in the returning area as well, and you'll be updating the information as far as the team. We're going to start off with a new player. John Doe is new. We select new. You're going to put in your user ID and your password. Select login. You're going to see this, Louisiana Youth Football New Student Online Registration, Student Athlete Online Registration. This is very key. Again, this is a problem that we see, and we're seeing that the coaches are not reading. Do not use all uppercase. That's saying that it shouldn't look like this. Do not use all lowercase letters. That's saying that it shouldn't look like this. This is the correct way to enter information into the system. So we start with our player's first name, John. His last name is Doe. He doesn't have a second, third, or fourth. He's not junior or senior. He's automatically a student athlete. He's playing in the 9 and 10-year-old age group. It automatically says that he's going to be playing for this season. And we're going to enter in his address. 2635 Choctaw Drive, Suite 414. The city is a drop down. His Baton Rouge is automatically Louisiana. Here the area code is 70805. And hopefully somebody put 70805 in correctly in the system. 70805. The team that he's playing on is not the best cut Clippers, so we've got to make sure that we put him on the Bears team. He's playing with the Bears. His date of birth, and you see the format, is MM/DD/YYY. That means it's 03/020/2007. That's his birthday. You can use the calendar as well. The calendar gives you the calendar, and as you see, it says March 20th, 2007. He's playing football. The school he goes to is Southern Lab. If the school is not listed, luckily Southern Lab is listed. If the school is not listed, just select school not listed. But we know what school he goes to. He goes to Southern Lab. We're going to enter Southern Lab. He's in the 5th grade. So we click on current grade and put 5th grade. Once we do that, we hit submit. You get this message here. You did a great job. You're finished. You want to go and register another player? Click here again. You would register another new player. Please do not click here if it's a returning player. We give you a message. Please make sure a student athlete is not a returning player. We don't want to have duplicates in the system. So if he's not a returning player, if he's a returning player, you would go over here to your team registry. Go to returning player. You already logged in because you logged in here. The first time you log in, you're going to be logged in for both the returning players as well as the new players. So you're going to already be entered into there. You want to search on the player. Let's act like we didn't just put in John Doe, and now John Doe is a returning player. So we're looking for John Doe. He's playing on the Bears team. But we want to change him over because now he's playing with our team. We have a new registration form, and he played on the Bears team last year, and he's playing with the Best Cut Clippers now. We go over. Instead of putting in John Doe, and you don't have to worry about caps anything here for your data entry. Instead of putting in all this information here, the best way to search for a kid is to leave this blank at all, leave that at all, leave that at blank, and just go by the first name. Sometimes spellings of the names, coaches spell them differently, but you know on your form it says John. If you click here with just first name in there, it's going to bring up all the Johns in the system. So you'll get to see, once I say search, you'll see every John that's in the system, regardless of who they are. The player that we're looking for is John Doe. So in order to go in and say, okay, I'm changing him to my team now, I go to his first name, click on John. It'll bring up John Doe. I can go in and change the information that I need. We know his name is correct. He's a returning player, so his name is still the same. His date of birth is still the same. What we want to go in and change that John Doe is actually going to be playing on, well, not the Best Cut Clippers, but he's going to be playing on, we're going to move him up to 11 and 12-year-old team, and he'll be playing with the Bengals on the Bengals 11 and 12-year-old team. We'll go in, change that information, make sure that his school is correct, his current grade is correct, his address is correct. As you can see, those stars mean that these are required fields. So all the required fields, we'll make sure the information is in there. If I know John Doe's position, I can put it in here. If I don't know it, just leave it blank. You'll come back in the season and actually put in the jersey number here. Right now, when you're doing the initial data entry, we know that you do not know the jersey number, but the system will be opened up once the season starts, and you can go in and enter the jersey numbers for the kid. Once I finish making sure that all this information is correct, here, here, and here, I go say update. Once I finish updating, as you can see, John Doe is now on the 11 and 12-year-old teams with the Baton Rouge Bengals. His information here is correct, and the season that he's playing in is LYF 2016. If I had another kid I needed to find, I had his registration form. Once you select the Search Again button, you'll come back up here to the Player Registry search feature again. You'll go in and search on, let's say, Timothy. You have a player named Timothy. You enter Timothy's name in here. I wouldn't put in last name. Or you can go in and say, I want to search on, his last name is Davis. So you search for everybody that's named Davis. And it'll bring you every Davis that's in the system. So if your player is on here, even if the first name is spelled wrong, and you see how we have some lowercase entries into the system, even if it's spelled wrong, if Davis is spelled correctly, it'll bring up every Davis in the system. So this is basically the steps to do registering your kid, from the registration form step of knowing what goes on to the registration form, to starting off here. If you started at the main menu of Louisiana Youth Football, you'll see this main menu. Go to Team Registry. If you click on New, you'll have to put in your user ID and password if it's your first time, but if you logged in and you're still in the same session, you'll see this page here. This will allow you to put your entry for a new player, and if it's a returning player, then it will go back to this page here. So you'll see here the returning player registry, and you'll be able to enter in any registration that you need as far as a kid that's existing in the system. If you have any questions, you can always go to LouisianaYouthFootball.com, and you'll see it, the main page here, and then you'll see the team registry. If you need player forms, all the player forms that you need will be right here. Coaches registration forms, players forms, team roster forms, add and drop forms, even for your cheerleaders and your dancers, their forms will be located on Louisiana Youth Football, the forms page. Everything that you need to do for your coaches registration is located at LouisianaYouthCoaches.com, and this is your page where you can go in and see the 3 easy steps that it takes. Step 1, make sure you fill out a registration form. Print your registration form and then fax it to us, or you can email it to us here at coaching@LouisianaYouthCoaches.com. You also will be sending a headshot, a photo. If you do not have a photo, if you're a new coach and you do not have a photo on file, you will email that photo here. Do not email us a photo and not email a registration form. We've had coaches that emailed a picture, paid their registration fees here, and never send us a registration form. So fill out your registration form, pay your registration fees online, and email your registration form and your headshot here. The next step would be your background check, and here's the instruction letter for everything you need for your background check. Here's the pricing and where you would go when you need to enter the information for your background check. Now for football coaches only, here's the steps for you. You would go to your USA Football. It's $10 only. Here's the instructions. This is if you have any questions. Here's the information that you'll call for them. For every team, if you need to know step by step on how you register your football team, how do you register your cheerleading squad, how do you register your dance squad, and if it was baseball season, how do you register your baseball team, click here and it gives you a step-by-step guide as far as how do you register each one of those teams. For cheerleading and dance, their information also includes their registration fee. For football, if you go to the rules page, right here you can see the rules for 2016. You'll see USA Football's rule book. You'll see official calls so you can understand the calls on the field, and then basic information about American Football Dictionary. This gives you step-by-steps on different things, different concepts in football. But here's our Louisiana Youth Football rules. These rules will govern us throughout the 2016 season and every season on forward. If you need to find the rules, it's simply on Louisiana Youth Football Rules. You just click on the rules section here, the rules selection here, and it'll bring you to the rules page. Thank you, coaches. Again, if you always have any questions, you can email us at info@LouisianaYouthFootball.com, thefuture@LouisianaYouthSportsNetwork.com, coaching@LouisianaYouthCoaches.com,